Hello, welcome to a very delayed Easter episode. And we are calling this an Easter episode, yes?
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, I found Easter bunny ears.
Yeah.
My daughter has. I complete the look of having ears and teeth.
If you had that,
like a rabbit.
But you've been the most terrifying Easter bunny.
Yeah, because also, if I was Easter bunny, there's not a fucking chance I'd be leaving you any chocolate eggs. They would just be empty wrappers.
I don't know how the Easter bunny thing works. Are you meant to?
The Easter bunny.
You leave teeth? No, you don't leave teeth. Obviously, that's the tooth fairy. But
no, he leaves eggs. That's the idea. That he comes with a basket and just leaves chocolate eggs.
But you don't leave him anything.
No, you leave. No, the Easter bunny gets fuck all.
You don't have to serve anything up from
no.
it like him.
No, tooth fairy gets the teeth, and I think it's a thing not that they collect the teeth and make a house out of it. That's from what I understand. The tooth fairy to be.
Your teeth?
I think there's something like that. There's something like that. The tooth fairy's. The tooth fairy's castle is made
of human
teeth. Yeah, this might be a completely nightmarish, horrible scape I'm creating here. But
yeah, this is my brother's been given out to me about us recently. About he thinks we need a fact checker.
We do, but most podcasts need a fact check.
Yeah.
At least like our fact checks are about stupid things, about whether the tooth fairy's castle is made of human teeth.
Yeah.
Or if a human could beat a chicken.
Yes, our main one is actually what I've been given out to about people is apparently 2-3 times in a row. We have got the wrong Pope as the goalkeeper.
Oh, is it? It's not Ratzinger, no.
No, it's John Paul. JP2, the big one.
JP2 was a goalkeeper?
Yeah.
Ah, right.
So we kept going like him, then we fact-checked it, then came back the next episode, and we're like, Ratzinger, the holy goalie. Artur Buric.
I see. Right. I mean, listen, I'm quite happy for people to tell us where we've been wrong, because we will be wrong at multiple times every single episode.
Yeah.
As we are in life, Ryan, because if humans are we anything other than fallible?
Yeah.
I didn't even get that right.
Infallible. I don't fucking feel fallible. Infallible. I don't know. Tell you that much.
Yeah, Ryan's fucked his back.
Yeah, I'm falling apart. My spinal cord. Honest to God, I've hurt myself in football, and not even in football. When the big whistle went off, like the game over. I turned when the final whistle basically went off in the fives.
Is this fives?
Yeah, so there's a big horn that goes off every hour.
To tell people.
Fucking switch over to the next people, right?
Ah, right.
So this big horn went off and I went, hey, that's it. And turned and fucked my back. So it wasn't even during the game.
See, in the good old days of fives, it would be...
Get the fuck off.
You'd go, it's your fucking time, lads. And then sometimes you get arseholes that would try and play on, but they'd be much bigger than you, so you just let them play on. And then you just miss your session. And they'd get a double session. There's no horn.
That's grim. I can see why they brought the horn in.
Yeah.
Like, bring the horn in sounds completely... Yeah. I tried to do reformer Pilates.
Yeah, I saw you were saying this the other day. I don't understand what that is.
Right, so that was like, right, I need to fix my back because it's in pieces, right? Because I even went to, like, every time someone sees my back, they go, do you know that's not right? Remember I told you before, I think I've said it in the podcast where I went into the gym to do a free trial a couple of years ago, and the guy goes, have you had some massive trauma in your left shoulder? And I was like, nah. And he goes, well, you have.
You have now?
Yeah, fucking that. Lay into it. And then I tell them that I've been hit by numerous cars.
Cars,
and then they're like, well, it's probably one of them. Right? So I went, reformer Pilates is like Pilates but on a machine.
That's better.
Like, it's not just Pilates, right? You go into this big machine that stretches you out like a...
Can I stop you before you go on? What is normal Pilates?
You don't know normal Pilates?
No.
It's kind of like... It's like angry yoga.
Right,
it's like
okay.
More tense yoga, essentially stretching.
Why? So, harder than yoga?
Harder than yoga, I would say, yeah.
Right.
People come out of Pilates sweating, so
right.
I don't think you necessarily come out of yoga that bad.
Oh, okay.
Different type of sweating.
Okay. So, Pilates. Do you know what the name of... See, the guy that had to stretch to put the last nail on... into Jesus on the cross. You know what he was called?
What?
Pontius Pilates.
Fuck off. I'm fucking fuming. And that one was as well. Like,
oh my God.
I knew there was something coming, but I couldn't make it.
Pontius
Pilates.
It's one of the best. The only good joke I've written this year.
I was just telling you that I'm going through an absolute stinking. I was telling Mark, I went into a new comedy night there, and they think, good audience. This is all on me. And I thought I had written a banger and opened up the show with my little. I may as well tell it now because it's not going to be told on stage. Again, I was about like, you know, my little brother died in the back of a hot car. So that's always remember people to crack open a window when you're out dogging. I don't really know if
I actually find it funnier the second time.
and then there's like a whole group of people from Minnesota just staring at me. And then I was like, do you guys have dogging? And they were like, yeah.
Oh yeah, because dogging. I think dogging's an American word, is it not?
Oh, maybe, yeah, probably.
I don't know.
But the Pilates, right? Reformer Pilates is they stretch you out. I think it's like it looks like a medieval fucking
rack.
Yeah, like a rack. Yeah, right. And basically, I booked one, and then I was like, I missed it because I was just like, I changed it. I was like, why the fuck did I book this for 8 in the morning? Mm-hmm. Stupid. So I changed it to 4. Right, then missed it.
Right.
Then missed it because of a traffic jam. Right. Aye. Then booked in again the next day. Turned up. Right, and there was 3 classes going on. There's only a couple of people in each class because they have a certain thing. I was only doing the entire building. Mm-hmm. Right, and then they went. She went, what are you looking for? And I was like, tell her the whole thing. And she was like, and you heard it last week, and it's still sore. And I go, yeah. And he goes, well, then you can't go on the machine because you're going to be just re-injure yourself. Like,
I see.
Wait till you're. Thing I got that makes sense. So now I've managed to miss basically 3 classes.
How much did it cost?
Oh, it was cheap. It was like 20 quid
for like an hour long.
Yeah,
Jesus, that's not bad.
It is. I was expecting to be at least.
So if you don't have an injury, but you know you've just got like you just need stretch to fuck.
Stretched posture.
You can get that done.
Yeah,
excellent. I might get that done.
Yeah,
I'm going to put that this week.
There you go.
Let the fans know next week.
We're a Reformer Pilates.
We are.
Yeah,
we're also
Reformer does make it sound like you've done something wrong.
Yeah, we're also members of the Reform Party. If you are. What a night for us last night in the local elections.
Basically, my spine, I look like the same spinal and same posture as like Randall Wiens in Recess.
All right,
Mr. Burns.
The machine sounds like there's a couple of Bond films where he's going on a machine, and then it happens in Moonraker, where he gets put on it's basically like a machine that mimics G-force.
Oh, I remember that scene. Yeah.
And then but then a man of nefarious means takes over one of the henchmen. And then he fucking dials it up to Roger Moore's like, it looks like he's having like the biggest stroke ever. Yeah. And then he ends up having to use like the watch that fires a dart to turn off the machine. But that Pilates machine sounds exactly like in Thunderball, Bond after a mission gets sent to like a health farm and he gets put in this machine, which is basically Sean Connery lying on a bed. And he gets strapped in the hands, and he's strapped by the wrists and strapped by the ankles, and then it just fucking jolts him back and forward. And I think it's supposed to stretch him out, but then a henchman takes over.
Oh,
but it's so ridiculous because in early Bond films, in Connery Bond films, particularly the fight scenes, they speed up the footage to make it look more exciting.
Yes.
Because I reckon at that time, stunt fighting wasn't what it is in like the Matrix.
Yeah, it wouldn't. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Or the Raid or something like that. So stunt fighting was pretty fucking limited.
Yeah.
And guys weren't there. So what they would do is they'd speed up the footage to make it look like fucking hell, these guys are ninja masters.
Great, right?
But they did it in this scene as well. So it just looks like fucking Sean Connery's humping the shit out of this table. He's just he's big fucking sweaty and the fucking hairpiece is flopping over like that. And
that would have been great if in Moonraker, by the way, if he got out of that machine just covered in cum. Just whatever, G-force got him off. Try and kill him and just made him blow his load. And then that would be terrifying. James Bond covered in cum coming at you.
I'm gonna take these off. They don't feel right.
Yeah,
these are mine.
I never even noticed.
These are my daughters. Here's the thing, right? My daughter is away just now on a thing.
Honeymoon?
No, honeymoon. Yeah, she's away on honeymoon. Some Indian fella she met. I thought it was weird as well. We never met his family, but hey, 50,000 rupees or 50,000 rupees. It's what's it called?
Diary.
No, I can't remember what it's called. Basically, where you're in P7 and you get taken away for almost like a holiday. So he's away for 4 days to like this camp, and they learn how to. She's away at a concentration camp.
Sounds like she's going to get molested.
God, what's it fucking called? I can't remember.
Summer camp, like.
No, it's not a summer camp.
Like a retreat.
Yes, it's like a retreat, but it's called a specific word. But the reason I don't know it well enough is because I never had it at my school.
Okay, like
shit.
Midterm, not midterm.
It's not a localization. It's not a. And I keep wanting to say internment camp, but that's not right.
It's definitely not an internment camp.
It's So what they get taken away.
Your daughter's getting deported.
The whole class, both classes, whole year.
Okay.
The whole year get taken away, and they do stuff like fucking orienteering, and they do this health and safety thing where they're like sea rescue thing, and they do a fucking mountain biking, abseiling, shit like that, and then they go away and they've got to make their own beds for the first time. They've got to like wash up all the dishes after they've eaten, and they got all this kind of shit. And it's like, it's like a military camp, but it's
scared
fun.
straight.
And everyone I've spoke to in Scotland that went to high school has had this, and I got fuck all of that.
You raging about it now? I'm
raging about it. Like, I mean, it sounds like, I mean, at that kind of age, it sounds shit now, but at that kind of age, it sounds awesome.
I think I did it, but it wasn't part of the school. You know, like, it wasn't supplied. You pay for it essentially and fuck off during the.
Where did you go though?
I went to the adventure park in Garton, where I ended up working. Remember the one I told you?
Oh, aye. I need to find out this.
Or not working, but you know.
P7s get taken out of school. Out of school.
This is going to be ChatGPT
holiday.
It's going to come up with it.
Damn, I don't want the fucking holiday dates. Jesus Christ. This is so annoying.
We got a retreat where like the Canadians came in and sang Kumbaya and told us that abortions are terrible.
The Canadians?
We are like these Canadians. They're obviously like youth.
Like a Bible?
You know, like youth defense.
Aye.
Do you know youth defense?
No, I don't know, but I can imagine what that kind of.
Yeah, youth defense are like big, highly Christian. They're the ones that throw paint on abortionists and stuff. So they all come to the school because it's a Catholic school, and they would sing Kumbaya and tell us that condoms and abortion was terrible. And it's real funny because even at the time, you know, even as a young dude, we were looking at this. So everybody looked at each other, going like, "We know this isn't it."
Yeah,
you know, you're like, "This is fucking mental."
This is.
They did genuinely pulled out ukuleles and sang. And we were like, nobody's going to sing with you. This isn't Canada. I remember people were just trying like not to go on home, British soldiers.
I need to find out what that's called. I'm sorry.
Don't worry.
P7.
So we didn't even have the P7s or
retreat.
anything like that.
Oh, damn it! Why the fuck is this not?
I can't even think of what
it's called. Something. It's like it's not like the local.
Hopefully, it's going to be somebody's going to be listening to this screaming.
No, I know.
Which is going to be great. I love it.
What I did speak right. I'm not. I will only going to bring this up very quickly because we disagree massively with this. I just want to fight. But the kneecap thing.
Okay, yeah.
I laughed this morning because there is a thing I love, and my wee boy loves it as well. Where, first of all, I love anything where they'll play the Curb Your Enthusiasm music at the end, right? And directed by Robert B. Weed and all that kind of stuff. When a mishap happens,
yeah.
But I also love the thing on the internet where something will happen. And then it goes, a few moments later. And then the complete opposite thing happens. So this morning, Kneecap, who have been everyone's been trying to get Kneecap taken off everything.
Yeah.
And yesterday they got removed from the Eden Sessions, which is a music festival in Cornwall.
Okay.
And then they immediately went and booked the Plymouth Pavilion, which is like a much bigger venue than what the Eden Sessions was.
Yeah.
So it came up and it was like Kneecap pulled from Eden Sessions, and then it was, but they've already booked a bigger venue, the Plymouth Pavilions, and it went a few moments later, and it was Plymouth Pavilions pull Kneecap gig after protest.
That's funny.
And I was laughing a lot,
lot
at that. But yeah, we have differing views on this.
I don't think a lot of people get Kneecap.
I don't think a lot of British people won't.
Well, I see the problem is like they kind of should because like when it came to like Belfast and stuff, they were given it to like Catholics and Protestants. So they took all the money. It's not really about that.
Yeah,
I do think those guys though have always lived on controversy. So like as much as they're doing the thing, like they're obviously trying to wind people up.
Yeah.
But they haven't. They've been doing well before this all shit kicked off in 2020. It was Palestine and fuck Israel up on their backs walls.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, I've been since about 2018 and stuff like that. They always the DJ was always draped in a Palestine fucking bunker thing. But yeah, I mean whatever. It's just
I think it's very hard to in any way make any kind of political statement when you are a band now, because I think there would be things. It's the contradictory and hypocritical nature of a lot of it. I think there is stuff like U2 would have said, right? Very political band. Some of the stuff Geldof used to come out with. Some of the stuff Madonna used to say, right? When they said it at the time, even Rage Against the Machine, right?
Yeah.
When they said it at the time, and then someone came back and went, but what about this? They would go, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, because no footage would exist.
Yeah.
But like they came out the other day and said, we have absolutely so. Again, I'm going to point myself as being hypocritical and contradictory as well in a minute.
Yeah.
They said we have never ever supported Hamas and Hezbollah, and then within seconds someone just went, "What about this?" Right, and it was a video of them going, "Up the Hezbollah, up the Hamas," and you're like, right, you know what I mean?
There.
You can't. There is that thing of a tweet always exists. So it's.
That's like shouting up the Ra, though.
Yeah.
But I get it. I do get it. You're fucked there.
But in my own hypocritical way, I was kind of because I don't give a shit. I don't like. I don't agree with the majority of their messages. I don't give really give a shit about it.
Yeah.
But I do. I think it's. I did find the Coachella thing a bit pathetic.
Yeah.
Purely because it was done to Americans who don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Who
You said
Margaret
that before.
Thatcher is, right?
Yeah.
But then, so when they were like, because I didn't actually agree with the whole kill your MP thing, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't really agree with that. I think that's a bit out of order. And then when they immediately issued an apology, I was like, you shite bag. Fucking, where's your principal? Stand up for them, for Christ's sake. So, like, I was like...
That's funny. That's funny. I completely disagree with this, but do not back down.
Yeah, exactly. I totally disagree with you, but by God, don't you fucking change your mind, because then I'll hate you even more.
That's so funny. Great. Yeah, they also do thrive on that type of controversy and stuff like that. But yeah, I think obviously they're so beloved in Ireland. They fucking managed to make everyone learn Irish in Ireland.
Yeah.
Single-handedly. I would pretty much say single-handedly.
Really?
Like they've managed to get like the absolute boom now in Ireland of people learning Irish. Fucking me, I'm learning it again.
Oh yeah, are you doing it on
yeah, it's terrible.
You're doing it on Duolingo?
Duolingo. I tell you about, and then there's times I'm like, why am I doing this in Duolingo? Because like sometimes it just goes, I spoke to the duck, and you're just like,
oh, I know. That's what I tried to, because obviously Amy speaks Gaelic.
Does she?
I tried to
at least
learn it.
Yeah, I'm not really trying to even learn the fucking.
No,
Duolingo's not going to make you fluent. I just wanted to get like a.
But there are some. You'd think, because when I did it, because I've done it before, and I did it with like, so I was like, oh well, we go to Portugal quite a lot on holiday. I'll try and learn some Portuguese, and you would think it would start with the basics, but it doesn't. Like you're saying, it goes in with some fucking bizarre sentences that. I know there's like this old joke of like, oh, remember the shit we used to learn in French? Like, where is the bibliothèque? And how far away is the swimming pool and all this kind of shit? Why would you ever need that, right? But you would expect that they wouldn't come in with. But it is shit about ducks and fucking.
It's. I'll tell you how bad it is in Ireland. Well, I'm only speaking on Irish here, right? The Irish language is like so badly taught in schools that like I did 5 years of German in secondary school, and I knew more German by the end of that than the 13 of Irish, because all they learn about Irish is like, oh, learn about a fucking 18th century boring poem.
Aye.
And I'm like,
and any useful shit that you could use.
Yeah, I can't use this. Nobody wants to fucking talk about it. Everybody hates this poem.
Aye.
Nobody enjoys this. So like, I think they kind of brought it a litle bit back. So all the Gaeltacht areas are booming and stuff like that. So
would you reckon would be the most difficult language to learn?
Wingdings. It's not a language, is it? But what would be the most, I think for us, Chinese, because I think
I would always have said Chinese because of the pictures.
No, I was going to just say because we would sound racist regardless of what we do.
Oh, that's a good point. Have you ever seen those videos of people surprising folk? So it'll be like a guy,
Des Bishop. He always does it, doesn't he?
But it'll be like a guy sitting in a Chinese restaurant and everybody's speaking Mandarin, and then suddenly he'll order in perfect Mandarin. And everyone's like, oh, I don't know shit. I did the noise there. Oh. But
that's what I'm saying. It's
I know you can't impersonate a Chinese person without being racist. But I would have said Chinese because it's a totally different language structure to what we have.
Yeah.
Because any European language, like German's quite easy for Scottish people to learn because it's the same kind of sounds as guttural kind of sounds, and a
lot of use of the word die.
yeah. But any kind of European language that follows, I know they have different rules in terms of the masculine, feminine stuff like that.
That's the only annoying part, though. The rest of it is pretty,
Yeah, but when you take in an Eastern Asian language, that's completely fucked. I mean, even Japanese, fucking nightmare.
I keep getting surprised, like Jack Trainer. You know Jack Trainer?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he got a scholarship to go to China and learn Mandarin.
Fuck off.
It's so funny.
Why?
He failed. He failed
it. Of course he fucking failed.
Yeah, he failed. But I don't know, he was good.
Failed? He fucking failed his driving proficiency test.
I kept saying, I think one of my jokes was about him in a roast battle about him going over to, I was like, he failed because he thought they were talking about the wee oranges. So stupid. But like, I'm always like, what? How does that happen? When did you even start Chinese?
Can you speak any of it?
I presume so, yeah.
Russian, I reckon, would be difficult as well.
Oh, yeah.
The pal did a bit of Russian at uni, and he said it was fucking impossible.
Do you reckon it'd be like, what about like one of those like African languages with clicks in it?
Oh Christ! And then you can't, and you'd be racist as fuck. Even if you were the most fluent Westerner that ever spoke an African click language, you could never speak it because people are like,
that would look insane.
Fucking
taking like, fucking literally everything.
Exactly. You'd
mocking me?
You'd look
I'm not
so much like taking the piss. Do you know what always annoys me? See anyone that's ever learnt a fucking made up language. See anyone that could say I'm fluent in fucking what's those guys for Star Trek?
Oh, Klingon.
Fuck off. See if you've taken the time to learn. And also, why did anyone ever take the time to make up that language?
Yeah.
Like, there doesn't need to be a structure for that language. Yeah, I get it, right? You have different people in different TV shows, different races, different creatures, different species, right? They're going to have different languages, but there doesn't need to be an actual structure behind it.
Yeah.
Just get them to go, like, They don't need to be going, but actually that's, you've taken the past participle of the verb there to, fuck off.
Take that fucking, like, what do you call the guy in Star Trek with like Julian Lescott head?
Worf.
Is that who
Lieutenant Worf?
I don't watch Star Trek. That's one I'd turn off. Like, when people are mad into, like, I can somewhat get people getting mad into Star Wars or Doctor Who. You get the fanatics or Lord of the Rings, but Star Trek's one I immediately go, ooh.
I quite liked some of the new generation stuff with Patrick Stewart and some of the early shit with.
There was one good film. Is it First Contact?
That's quite good.
That's the one with the weird.
Yeah.
It looks like me, aren't you? You're going to say.
Yeah.
But that was a good film.
That's quite good. Some of the films are all right, and some of the early stuff with Shatner as Kirk.
Oh,
it's fucking entertaining because he's such a mad shagger. But he's a mad shagger, but he's shagging everything. Like he's shagging green people, he's shagging folk that are trees, just anything. He just pump anything. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what world, what planet you're from, how many legs you've got, how many eyes you've got. He'll just fucking stick it in anything.
Fingering some tree.
Honestly, God, he's fucking
you
mad
feeling sappy?
Shatner.
Oh God.
There's a great, if anyone gets a chance and is a wrestling fan, there's a great Shatner video where it's like one of those spoof album things where it's William Shatner sings WWE theme tunes.
Great.
And he does it in the way you'll have heard Shatner doing like Rocket Man.
Yeah.
Common People, where he doesn't sing, he just speaks it, but he speaks it in that very Shatner way. And he does Shawn Michaels theme tune, which is just fucking brilliant.
That's class. I started for some reason randomly listening to. I think it's because of my show. I had like Benoit's music. I had a couple of random ones pop up, like Batista's entrance music.
There's some great tunes.
Yeah.
Some great tunes.
Some great new metal, Machine Head and stuff. Yeah.
Before we get to the film, I just want to give a quick update to anyone who's wondering how Hooters was in Newcastle, because I went.
With Dave.
I went with our friend David Canham, and it was. You know what? I went twice. I went on my own on the Friday as well.
That's so sad.
Seeing the Friday, I was so nervous of going because I was like, I can't go in here. Oh God! But then I realised that there's a big counter because it's an American thing, and they've got that American pub culture of just guys sitting at the bar.
Yeah.
And there was loads of dudes like me, perverts, sitting there and just eating wings.
Yeah. You love them wings.
But
not as good here. No.
Nowhere near. Far too much. They fucked it up.
Too much sauce dripping
and shit. In America, it was just like, here's the hot wings. How many do you want? Right? Here it's like, so I was confused. I was like, fuck, does that mean you have to have a rub? And what's this? So I was like, oh, can I take the jerk chicken rub? And then can I get the Cajun sauce? And she's like on the side, and I was like, I guess. So then I got these dry as fuck. And for some reason, she misunderstood me and gave me the boneless wings as well. I was like, what's the fucking point in this? This is just bits of chicken. I want an actual bone to scrape clean. But it's. Do you know what? It was rammed. I'm very surprised at how many groups of women were in there.
Yeah. Very
surprised at that. Sport was on, so we watched the undercard of the Eubank Junior Ben Junior fight.
Apparently it was great.
And simultaneously, so the one telly that and one telly with the Crystal Palace Aston Villa semi-final on.
Yeah.
Which was good. And the beers were great. One guy got very, very excited because they had American football helmets all around the walls, and there was a Washington Redskins one, and he took a photo of it and pointed up to me and he went, and I was like, this guy's well excited about American football helmets. He was like, Redskins, you don't see them anymore. And I was like, no, you don't actually, you don't. And what they call now, the Challengers.
Commanders.
Washington Commanders, that's it. And he's like, they're called the Commanders now. You get Redskins, racist. And I was like, also, but who the fuck are you showing this photo to?
Yeah,
but he was in it. He was in it, pointing up. Like,
God. Do you know what the thing is? The NFL, there's apparently chat that they might bring it back.
The Redskins?
Which is so much worse.
Yeah.
I think it's because now, like, Trump's in and everybody doesn't give a shit anymore. And they're like, maybe we should bring them back. Nobody likes Commanders. It is a terrible name, but but like, you can't ban it for being racism and then go 4 years ago. Well, bring it back.
Redskins.
Washington Wetbacks. Like, what the fuck is this?
The 49ers, is that?
I don't know what the 49ers are.
No, I don't know what the 49ers are. Surely, because the Chicago hockey team is the Chicago Blackhawks. Mm-hmm. Surely that's racist as well.
So surely
they've got a big Indian on
surely the Kansas City Chiefs.
The Chiefs, aye.
I don't really. I know Redskins particularly. I get it.
Maybe that was a slur against the Native American
so
people.
Was,
Redskins, whereas you can't really make a slur if you call them the Chiefs.
Yeah. I suppose that's what it is. So, you know what? You've gotten me, by the way, because remember I was sorry. This is completely out of nowhere unless you had someone else to say there.
No, just like visit Newcastle Hooters. It's great to see it doing well, and it's great to see it so busy.
It'd be so funny if I just had a Hooters logo at the bottom.
Yeah.
Sponsored
I think that would be my ideal sponsor.
Hooters. Just give you vouchers.
How fucking class would it be if in it just specifically Newcastle Hooters? Only Newcastle.
Only the Geordie Hooters.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Right, what were you gonna say? Sorry.
Oh god, film I was dying to watch. Havoc shite.
Oh yeah, you were. I've not seen it yet, but
God, I mean, some good scenes, like some good CGI, and I'm like, what are you doing? I hated it. Tom Hardy was bizarre in it. There's one part where he chats to Forrest Whitaker, and he just goes.
What accent does he have in it?
I think it's like meant to be American, regular.
Right.
Shite. Even ruined Timothy Oliphant.
No.
How do you do that? How do you make him boring?
Oh no.
But anyway, but you've absolutely nailed me with a top 10 film of all time. I fucking loved Tombstone.
Oh yeah, Tombstone. We're doing that next week.
Fuck off.
What?
We're doing Tombstone next week.
We're doing Dogma this week.
Sorry. Yes. Oh yeah. Sorry.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I thought you said we're doing Tombstone next week.
Yeah, we are.
What do you mean?
What?
Did you have Tombstone for next week?
Yes. Remember I told you because we were doing.
This is great. I get to watch it again.
So we were doing Gene Hackman last week because we never.
Oh,
and then because Val Kilmer died.
Jesus Christ! That's
why I was going to pick a Kilmer film.
Oh, this is so good. Perfect.
I don't want to spunk Top Gun yet.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
So
sweet.
the next logical one. It might have been. It was almost Top Secret, but
okay.
The next logical one was Tombstone because it's. I mean, Kilmer's just. But
yeah. Well, we'll leave it till then. That's brilliant.
Week.
Perfect.
Next week we're doing Tombstone.
Great.
But this week.
Yes.
We are doing.
First of all, can we just say how fucking hard it is to get this film?
Yeah, it's Dogma, or dog shit,
as
I will be referring to it.
Well.
Yeah, so something like you're well ahead with Tombstone for next week now.
Yeah, baby.
I normally watch them on the weekend before we record. Yeah. But this one. I hadn't and then last night we both settled down to watch it, not together but individually, after the Champions League semi-final.
Yeah.
And yes, because you'd said to me, where have you watched Dogma, by the way? Because I can't find it anywhere.
Yeah, there wasn't even. I couldn't even find really a YouTube even.
No,
usually
and then I went on the normal streaming search, and it was on none of them. And then my next thing is to get the VPN out. And then I'll be like, right, fucking Albanian Prime, here we go.
Yeah.
But it wasn't on any of them. And I texted you and went, I've never seen this.
Yeah.
And then you came back and said that it's nowhere because of Harvey Weinstein. Yeah.
Yeah. Harvey Weinstein apparently, has just like held it, let all the licenses die. So I don't know why.
Yeah.
Because Kevin Smith came out and said about it, like he's like pirated. Pirate it, like But I think he's recently got like a year ago he got the licenses back.
Yeah.
It's just not being put anywhere, so he probably will pump it out.
Miramax? Is it Miramax?
I think it must be Miramax. Yeah.
The Weinstein company had. So because I think Disney were going to have something to do with this, or Universal, or something to do with this film, and we're going to release it, and then pulled out of it.
Yeah, it's like a 25-year anniversary thing.
And then they went to Weinstein, who'd made I think he'd made a few Kevin Smith films, and Weinstein at this late 90s time was like a fucking kingmaker.
Yeah.
But then he never renewed the rights, and then became like persona non grata, and nobody would obviously no one was going to renegotiate with Harvey Weinstein over rights to a film.
Yeah.
So this was just one that completely slipped. He had the complete rights to it.
Yeah, fucking hell.
And it's nowhere. Literally nowhere. And I dug further that it is on YouTube, because I googled it and they were like, oh, there's a watchable version on YouTube. But you go into that, there's no sound.
Yeah.
There's no sound to it at all.
Do you know how stupid I am? By the way, do you know how I should have watched it? With the DVD.
With the DVD you were given, yeah. that was what surprised me. Like, it's fine if it was fine for me to not have it because I don't physically have the DVD, but you actually had the thing.
I'm gonna have to give it back to like this is too precious apparently.
So until Kevin Smith got the rights back, because apparently it was re-released last year for 25th anniversary.
Okay,
which I don't remember it being in the cinema.
No.
But he's got the rights back now. But before that, see, like the Blu-ray version of it, like £100, you could sell it for on eBay and stuff like that. Aye.
Wow.
Because not only could you not find it in any streaming services, it had ceased to be produced on DVD and Blu-ray, so you literally couldn't find this fucking film anywhere. So
what? You got a link?
I got a link. Because I'm damned if the internet's beating me. So I searched for a while and found an illegal torrent.
Yeah.
One of those things where, because I watched it on my phone, both of our devices are probably riddled with absolute malware and poison and viruses in it now, because it's one of those things where it comes up and then you try and press the big triangle to play, and then it will just take you to an entirely different site that's normally selling you Viagra or children. Then
stocked up on both. One's needed for the other.
and then you close that down and you go back and sometimes you'll get lucky on the second time and then it'll play from that. But then another time it'll fucking click another thing and then you'll get taken to some stock website selling. But if you persevere, eventually it will play. But then you have to watch it all the way through, because if you even go out of that thing at all, it's fucking nightmare. Because it's one of those things I noticed about this film is normally what happens is when I'm watching these films as a podcast, after like every couple of scenes, I'll go in and I'll write make me notes of stuff I've noticed or stuff like that, right? And normally with modern films, and most of them, the scenes are so short and cut so quickly that you're kind of going in and out every 3 minutes or so.
Yeah.
And which would have been a nightmare for this, because I've got to go out of the watching it, go into my notes, and then when I go back in, I've got to replay the wee game of clicking it 3 times before. With this though, the scenes are long as fuck.
Yeah.
Like every scene's about 10 minutes long. I think there's only about 5 scenes in this whole film.
It's just got 5 locations. Yeah, we'll go from here. Because I watched it last night. I watched the first hour last night when I was hammered, and I stopped. Right, and then I opened it up on the train here. I was like, I'll watch the thing. I've had the perfect amount of time for this journey, right? So I open up the laptop, right, and I turn it on, and you know what the fuck? Like I turned it on the thing, and I had stopped it exactly when Salma Hayek was stripteasing.
Yes.
So I just turned it on. Looked like I was like, on my daily commute, whip up the laptop to watch Salma Hayek do a striptease. It'd be great if I just watched that and closed it, and then wrapped up the laptop again. Yeah. Loves the striptease, Salma Hayek. That's a couple of films.
She does. I think. I'll tell you. You tell me things that you think are good. I think that's a good way to do it, right? You tell me a good thing about this film, and then I'll tell you a reason I hated it.
Right, this is great, because you hate it, right?
I don't hate it.
I think
hate's a very strong word. Yeah. I disliked it.
I think it's this is a top 20 anyway, top 10 possibly.
Of all time?
Comedy film.
Fuck off. Don't be so utterly ridiculous.
What
a ludicrous thing
I would
to say.
You know what, if I started labeling, in fairness, if I started writing it down, I guarantee it would plummet, like, in fairness. I'd say top 20 anyway.
I don't think I laughed once.
Oh, did you? Do you like Clerks?
Right, okay, this is the first reason why I hated this film.
You don't like Jay and Silent Bob?
I do, right? Kevin Smith films came along at the exact right point for me.
Yeah.
Because I very specifically remember. So Clerks came out. Clerks or Clarks, by the way? Clerks.
Yeah.
Because I think Americans say Clerks. But the thing is, we don't call...
Yeah, we don't call them
We
clerks,
don't call shop assistants or somebody... We'd call it the guy at the till.
Yeah.
We wouldn't call them
Sandeep.
Clerks. Fuck's sake. So 94 that kind of came out. So I was in that kind of, and then this was already where I was now considering and applying to go to university to do film studies.
Yeah.
So Kevin Smith was like fucking hell. He was like the independent film god, where he made Clerks with like 16 credit cards and maxed them all out, and it was filmed in black and white because he couldn't afford anything else, and it was mostly dialogue because he couldn't. It was all one shot and one location, all that kind of stuff. So I remember, and all this time when me and my pals were like, when we would just hang out and just talk about fucking films and South Park and music and shit like that, right? So that came along. I loved Clerks.
Okay, right.
I loved Mallrats.
Okay.
I probably loved Mallrats more than Clerks.
Right, okay.
Then Chasing Amy.
That's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, I don't like it as much too.
And at the time, and coming into this, I was quite excited to watch this again because I was like, oh, I love Dogma. And I'm now worried
that if you look back,
that I was looking at all of this with rose-tinted spectacles.
Yeah.
Where if I go back and watch Mallrats and Clerks now, I'll be like, this is utter dog shit.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, there is a see. This is the thing. Maybe the charm's worn off because like there was a charm about like he's a pretty very good filmmaker purely because of what the resources he used.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go like, Christ me, give the man 40 million to make a film. It'd probably be a fucking disaster.
Yeah.
In fairness, this is probably his biggest film in terms of.
It will. Imagine budget. It will.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So.
Because I didn't know he'd written. This was the first one he ever wrote.
Oh wow.
He wrote this.
I think this is really well written. I actually think it's well written.
I think it's boring.
Do you? That's so funny to me.
I think it's boring and far too convoluted and very, very difficult to follow.
What?
I think there's too many characters.
There is a lot of characters.
And I'd constantly had to check. Because see, if you're not indoctrinated in Catholic folklore, and I don't know who the fuck Israel is.
Yeah.
Like, I know, people I had to Google who he was. Loki, I was like, no, wait a minute. These are Norse god of mischief. He could fuck all to do with religion, right? Well, he does, but not this religion, right? So I didn't know who Bartleby was.
Yeah. Didn't know who Bartleby was either.
I knew what an apostle was, but obviously that's a made-up character for Chris Rock. The Muse. I know what a Muse is, but I didn't know who that was. I didn't know who's Rickman's character. He's an angel.
Voice of God.
Metatron.
I don't know.
Like he's got a proper Transformer name. So I didn't know who he was. I didn't know what the last Scion meant. So I had to Google all this kind of shit, and that angered me.
Okay. I don't know what his name was. Optimus Prime.
And then the three
Transformer sponsored by the Logans.
I think it's Metatron or something like that. Okay. And then the three kids are like the fucking Stygian triplets or some shit like that. They're from the River Styx. I know what that is.
Yeah.
But I was just like, I'm really struggling to follow.
I think you shouldn't have tried to follow it. Just went with it.
I like to know what films are about.
That's what it is. I think you've gotten the thing, because that would actually drive me mad. But in my head, I just went with it.
Yeah.
Like Azrael, there's a movie out. I want to watch it called Azrael. It's out at the moment. Like
see, from what I found from my Googling, is Azrael was actually a mischief demon. Whereas Loki was like more what Azrael is. Those characters should have been flipped.
Okay, right. Yeah, I think what do you call her? Is it Linda Fiorentino?
Linda Fiorentino, yeah.
Yeah, she's a real blast from the past.
Yes.
To me, she's like when she turns up in films, she's from a very specific era. And she was in, I can't even fucking name other stuff.
She's Men in Black.
She's Men in Black. That is exactly who I'm thinking of. She's kind of like there's a couple like Michelle Monaghan.
Yes.
Would be another person that's kind of like that again in a space of time. I know she's back now, isn't she? She's in the new White Lotus. But
yeah, Michelle Monaghan not play Tom Cruise's wife in all the Mission Impossible films as well.
See, this is the fucking thing with Michelle Monaghan's great, and she just keeps being typecast as the wife.
Yeah,
she's just the fucking wife. She's not John Wick's wife.
Christ, so she is.
Yeah, she's the wife in. What the fuck else? She's just a wife in. She's not. Is she a wife in? She's just a wife in True Detective.
That's true.
It's just a fucking wife.
Yeah.
Like
Michelle Monaghan plays wife.
Michelle as wife 1. Fucking hell. Anyway.
What was I going to say? Linda Fiorentino, yeah, is in one of my favourite films of all time. It's called The Last Seduction. It's fucking brilliant.
Never heard of it.
Mid-90s, like, film noir.
Okay.
It's absolute class.
Okay.
So I've always really liked her. Apparently an arsehole.
Ah.
But wait, I don't really know, because when I was reading
Yeah,
about this, Kevin Smith said he hated working with her. And they never spoke again after this until he had a heart attack. And she checked to see if he was alright, and then he apologised for everything. Because I think Kevin Smith's a bit of an arsehole as well.
Yeah, well, I don't really know enough, but it wouldn't be surprising. Like,
I think he's a weird looking guy as well.
He
He
is,
looks like do you know what Kevin Smith looks like? Robert Downey Jr. with AIDS.
he does actually. He's like, he does look
Do you know
like
what I
that.
mean? Kevin Smith is one of those people that you get people that if they've been big, and I never thought he was particularly big. Like, I know, like, Silent Bob gets a lot of, like,
he's
fat,
but
tubby
he's
bastard.
not actually.
He's not fucking massive.
No, he's not. Yeah. No.
But he is one of those guys that looks worse having lost weight.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I know a couple of like that. Like, I think I've seen David Harbour recently.
Yeah.
There, and I'm like, oof, no.
Yeah, some people need to be big.
Yeah.
Because they've got too much skin.
Yeah.
Like, but they've always had too much skin, so they can't.
Yeah, just you're not filled out.
They could never exist as being really skinny.
Yeah, it's like the beanbags fucked on one side.
Yes.
Smush it back out.
But he looks weird.
Yeah,
Kevin Smith, I think.
Yeah.
But I remember because Kevin Smith. But the reason I hated when Kevin Smith started to become like. When I started to dislike him was when he started doing like the speaking tours.
Okay, right.
And he became this arrogant fucking oracle on everything, like everything pop culture. Right, so he had the definitive view on Star Wars. He had the definitive view on Superman, all this kind of shit. And then I remember brother, I'm pretty sure I've still got it. My brother gave me a book where he like wrote he wrote a diary, but it was just him every single fucking thing he did all day. And it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds a bit wanky. When you put yourself on as a fucking, as you said, like as a zeitgeist.
I think he ran out of
ideas.
Yeah, I think he ran out a lot of stuff after this.
Yeah.
I think Clerks and Mallrats are pretty much the same film.
Yeah.
Chasing Amy's kind of the same film, but with a romance angle. Then this, which is completely different. And then after that, like...
He turns up in Die Hard 4.
Yeah. But could you name a Kevin Smith film that isn't a sequel? Because I know he did Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, which was just a Jay and Silent Bob
film. It was alright
film.
too.
Yeah.
They're better like when they're like this, in my opinion. Just
the only other one I could name, because I was looking at what he's done since then, the only one I could name was Zack and Mary Make a Porno.
Oh Christ, did he make that?
He made that, aye.
Okay, right. I don't remember that being any good.
But I just think, I don't know, I think he ran out of...
He ran out of gusto.
Aye.
He's I can't believe it's funny. I kind of watched this and thought you might not like it, but then that's why I was shocked when you said there that you like Clerks.
I love it. Do you know, I genuinely loved Clerks. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was brilliantly done.
Jay broke my shit in this 20 times.
What?
Jay fucking made me cry laughing.
Well, do you know what? I said I didn't laugh. There is a couple of times. There is I laughed a lot at the end when Linda Fiorentino and Alanis Morissette, who's playing God, hug, and he just turns to Silent Bob and goes. I
he said he got a semi when God hugged him.
Yeah. He is quite funny. I think he's the funnier of the two. The Silent Bob character.
Oh, he's Silent Bob makes him funnier.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
They do need each other. Like
that's
they
true.
do make. But yeah, he is the funny one.
That's
but
true.
Like, you know what, that fucking part. I felt so bad. I felt so fucking stupid when Jason Lee's like, I hate Jason Lee.
See, I love Jason Lee.
I fucking hate
this
Jason
is
Lee.
Weird.
I fucking hate him.
He's awesome, man.
I always hated him.
Oh,
don't know why. Never
even
did.
My Name Is Earl.
Fucking hate that show with a burning passion. Not really hated him, right? So when he turned up, I was like, ugh. But anyway, he shoots the. Does anybody know how to make a holy bartender? And he shoots him. I didn't get the joke, and I only got the joke when Jay
gets it. Jesus Christ, Cullen, that's terrible.
When Jay goes, "Oh, holy bartender," and I went, "Oh yeah, no, I get it now." God. And then I went, "Oh no, man, do I have the same brain power as fucking Jay?"
That's terrible. But you're a big fan of the Doobie Doos as well.
That's it. I was like, oh no, oh Jesus. I reckon we got a bit of Jay and Silent Bob.
We do actually, we do. Yeah, big fat bearded one and a thick as fuck skinny one.
It's so stupid. Fuck's sake.
I do. Do you know that's another hypocritical thing I do, where I hate self-referential films and Easter eggy films and things where
people, you said that before, yeah.
People put wee nods at
like Edgar Wright.
Yeah, like almost. No, you don't get that. Well, obviously you've never seen the original fucking.
Oh well, yeah, no, that's.
But then when I do get them, I go, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
When he chucks Matt Damon and Ben Affleck off the train, and the only other guy in the whole carriage who's witnessed this fucking violent scene where people are trying to kill each other.
That's really good.
He's sitting there terrified.
His face
and he
was
just
so
goes,
funny.
No ticket. And I was like, Indiana Jones? Yes! Yes!
Yeah.
That's class.
That guy's face was so funny. It's such a funny joke. Like, I know it's done 100 million times. Somebody been there and just happened to be in there during it all. Like, two people. It's just funny. The two angels. And do you know, I laughed at the very start. I was laughing at the boardwalk scene at the very start in Asbury Park.
Oh, it's a hell of a... Aye.
I slapped a bird on that boardwalk before.
You slapped a
bird came from a chips there once.
I thought you meant a woman.
No.
It's like, fucking hell.
No, an actual bird.
It's like, why are you saying these words? after last week's fucking Burning Cross revelation? What?
No, I was not slapping women in New Jersey. I slapped an actual bird in New Jersey on that boardwalk. It's a famous boardwalk. It's in
Sopranos quite a lot.
Sopranos. It's the dream sequences.
What's it called? Asbury Park.
It's Asbury Park. Because I've been at Clerks' shop as well. The shop where it's filmed.
Oh yeah, the Quick Stop.
It's near Red Bank, which is also in this.
Yeah.
And because we went out there, we stayed in Jersey when I was out in New York, right, for a while, because we went out to try and find my friend when we were homeless or whatever. So there was like there's like Bon Jovi. Went to Bon Jovi's house,
right? Okay.
He's apparently like a big doomsdayer. Like he's got like a bunker under his house and all this.
Right.
If his neighbour is anything to, he's got a big Y2K thing.
Did they do tours?
No. I was just outside his house.
How did you find out where he lived?
Because it's like, the dude brought us to some sin. He's one of his. He's like, this is Bon Jovi's house. We were looking for Springsteen because he's in Long Branch.
He's a bit I
think he's Long
Branch.
Big
Jersey.
Yeah.
Jersey native.
I think it may have been Long Branch.
I've just thought of a very funny thing.
Yeah.
If you were going on one of those tours to John Bon Jovi's house, and you said to the tour guide, how long's it going to be? And the guy went, whoa, we're halfway there.
Fuck off. I got one here. It says, the angel, and he says, I couldn't rape you if I wanted to, because he had no genitals. That makes it sound like he, as an angel, he really wanted to if he could.
Yeah.
It didn't make it sound like... Yeah. It sounded like is the only thing that's stopping me is that I don't have the...
I didn't know that about angels, that they don't have any genitals, but I suppose it makes sense.
Yeah. So how is it heaven? Huh? How is it heaven? If I went up to heaven and you found out you don't have genitals, you'd be just...
No, but you wouldn't go up as an angel, surely.
I feel like I would.
Does everybody that goes to heaven become an angel? Surely not. Nah, you can't. You're not just a guy in heaven.
Aye.
Not everybody gets angelic status the minute they die.
I'd be fucking raging
ridiculous.
if I went up there and
you get what? You get given wings, but your dick taken away.
Yeah,
what a fucking shite trait. Well, actually,
would it be? I don't know if you can fly about.
Fly now. That's a good question.
Would you take the wings?
Trade
your genitals for wings?
Genitals for wings.
God,
fucking hell. That's very interesting. Why's your dick fell off every time you had a can of Red Bull?
Fuck's sake. There's nothing worse than a fat bitch weeping.
That's just one of Ryan's thoughts.
Yeah, that was.
You've gone on the wrong notes. That's your diary.
It says daily affirmations. The only thing I've what is this? What the heck is it? Yeah, it's very funny as well that the kid who died. The one who says the kid that died that pissed on her hair his name is Brian Johnson. Which is the name of the guy that wants to live forever.
Yes.
That guy that's like, timing his son's wanks and picking his blood and shit.
Is it?
Do you know this guy?
No.
You know what I'm talking about, do you?
No.
You know
Brian Johnson is the lead singer of AC/DC.
No, that's another Brian Johnson. I'm pretty sure the guy, the guy that's been like, he wants to live forever and look real young. He's like,
oh, I know this guy.
And he's like, he looks real sick, and he's timing his.
Yeah, he looks like an android.
Yeah, he's like sucking up his son's cum and stuff.
He's called Brian Johnson.
I think it's Brian Johnson as well. So,
didn't know that.
There you go.
Aye.
Do you have anything else in this
Other
one?
things I hated.
Yeah.
I hated the disclaimer at the start.
All right.
I would have been quite happy before the title cards come up and before the first scene. The first scene's quite good actually, with just those 3 kids beating, like randomly attacking that homeless dude.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, what the fuck's going on here? Another thing, I hate his obsession with hockey because I don't get. I don't get ice hockey. I've never got it. Not
a Belfast Giants fan then?
No, I've tried to watch it. I don't understand what's going on.
It's all right.
It's too quick. I hated the wee disclaimer at the start. I'd have been quite happy if it had just been left at, this is a work of comedy fantasy. It's not intended to offend anyone. Fine.
Yeah.
Right. Then goes, we're not saying God is a terrible thing, but we're also not saying God's a genius. I mean, look at the platypus. And then they go, no, and that's not to offend any platypuses out there. And I'm like, don't fucking, it's just a bit at the start. You don't need to cram shitloads of shite jokes in this.
It was nonsense.
Right, get rid of that fucking...
Yeah, not needed at all. You know the part in the boardroom where, he was like, he was ratting people out, and he starts going like, he's like, oh, you cheated on your wife every time.
I like that scene.
And then you're thinking, and then he just goes like, John here shags kids, basically. You're just like, and they all went, yeah. I'm like, you'd think you'd be like, wait a minute, that's a little bit worse than...
Because I'm assuming the guy at the head of the board table, the actual CEO of the movie, was he the cow?
Yeah.
Aye. So I'm assuming the thing that he's done is so horrific that because that's the only one that they don't divulge. Ben Affleck whispers it to him, and then Matt Damon goes, "He's your son, for Christ's sake!" And then the guy starts crying. But then you kind of let's rank how bad the misdemeanors and sins are. The first guy cheats on his wife.
Yeah.
7 times, including one time with when he was supposed to be looking after his kids in the marital bed, right? Yeah. Second guy takes his wife to the office party, gets her drunk, then pays one of the mailroom boys to pump her because he wants to leave her, but then she leaves him due to the shame when she confesses the next morning, and then kills herself 3 months later. I think that's worse than the first one.
Yeah, considerably, yeah.
Right, that's worse than the first one.
Fuck me.
The least bad one, I would say, is the guy that put his mum into what he knew to be a substandard. Oh no, I'd say that's second least worst, second least bad. The guy puts his mum into a substandard nursing home, and then uses the profits from selling her house to buy an Oriental rug.
Yes,
right?
Yeah, that was mad. Yeah,
I think the least terrible one is the guy that knowingly makes the movie toys from from plastics that he knew were to be toxic.
Yeah.
But is that because then
I think that's the least
untoward damage that would do to kids at home.
I don't know if it does though.
I think the worst. Right. So what's the other ones?
He shagged the kid. Somebody shagged.
That's the worst. That's the worst.
Yeah. But that alone
on the company dime as well. On the company dime, Ryan. That's the worst part of that.
Shagging kids. The basically raping his own wife and making her commit suicide with another man from the mailroom.
Yeah, that's
probably
terrible.
Second.
And then there's a woman that did nothing.
Yeah.
But then he tries to kill her anyway because he didn't say bless you. God bless you when he sneezed.
That's right.
Right, okay.
Yeah. I think
definitely the Oriental rug. That's the.
I feel like
that's the most tame.
Yeah. And then the cheating on the wife.
The cheating on the wife,
which is obviously very bad. But like
then the guy with the toys.
Yeah, because do you know what? I'd like to know how toxic the toys are.
See, that's what we don't know. We don't know.
We don't know if it's like a literal thing or is there a big chance, like,
has this caused kids to die from buying these toys?
So then that's obviously worse. If not, you're like, right, okay, you're selling.
Okay, and then it's the guy that went to Thailand and to shag a 14-year-old boy on the company dime. Listen, I was all on board until they said, and you used the company money. I was like, whoa, come on now. Who the hell kill this animal right now?
Yeah.
No, not only is a sex trafficker, embezzlement as well. Good God.
I think my favorite part of the film is, when they're on they're in the woods, and he goes, Alan Rickman's like, oh, let me go somewhere a little bit more, warm or whatever, and he flicks them into the restaurant.
Yeah.
And Jay goes, I think this shit's kicking in. I fucking lost it.
Yeah.
I thought it was great.
Yeah. The cast is unbelievable.
It's ridiculous.
Like, it's fucking ridiculously good. Like, not even because Rickman's not in it a huge amount. Janine Garofalo, who I'm a big fan of, is in it for like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Fucking George Carlin plays the Cardinal.
That's right,
which is class. He's good. Do you know what? I liked all of the George Carlin stuff. I liked the bit at the start where they were trying to rebrand the Catholic Church.
Yes.
Because it was called Catholicism. Wow.
Yeah.
And then bringing in the different... Because that's genuine... This is a bit I've done on stage before about how Christianity is the least accessible religion because of the symbol, because of the mascot, basically. You look at other mascots, right? Muhammad's very little idea over what he looks like because so few drawings. But like some of the Buddhist ones,
geishas and not geishas, sorry, but
Ganesha with the big elephants and the cunt with the 9 arms and all that kind of stuff. That's good stuff. And then Christianity is always a dead bloke on a stick, like just a pathetic. Like, how's that installing any kind of power and faith in people?
That's our king right there.
Just limping. And so I like that idea of like getting out that the Jesus dude, where and he's just like fucking winking at them and putting his thumbs up, like Buddy Jesus.
Yeah.
I like that idea, and then that's when I then started confused because I still can't quite figure out what the loophole is that they found. So if you can explain it better than this. Well, the way I understood it is he was rebranding. There were attempts to rebrand the Catholic Church to make it more appealing and more accessible to people. And what they were doing was they were relaunching the church.
Yeah.
And on that day,
the century or whatever,
you crossed the threshold. You were then absolved of all sins.
Yeah.
And it was like a one-time deal.
Yeah.
So by the two fallen angels, they've been banished to Earth to live as humans because of they'd basically got above their station and were killing people randomly. They would then go in, get absolved of sin. If they then died as mortals, God would then have no other
option but they put them back into heaven
because
they
were dead humans and they were without sin. But then they couldn't kill themselves because that's an immediate sin.
Yeah.
So they would need to be murdered.
That's why he was waiting for the police.
Aye. So that's what it is. That's a loophole.
Yeah. But they also had to keep God incapacitated as well.
Yeah.
Because she would just stop it.
Aye, exactly. And then I did quite like the idea that if that did happen, the idea of any loophole about getting into heaven
would cease to everything.
Would cease entire existence because the whole idea behind God and the whole reason God exists is that they are infallible.
Yeah.
So by introducing any weakness into God, everything then falls to shit.
Yeah. I think the weakness is that she can't talk.
I think that's the biggest strength.
Yeah.
I would have
enjoy.
I
like Alanis Morissette now.
Oh, listen. Don't get me wrong. Right, I'll talk about Alanis Morissette.
Till the cows come home.
Yes, I thought I've seen shit. There's some shit acting in this film.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Chris Rock's awful.
But Chris Rock's awful in most things. I enjoy him, but like, I enjoy him in the films. But like, we done Down to Earth and other things.
Yeah,
He had a little period where they're fun films more than him, though.
Aye, Salma Hayek's awful.
Yeah, Salma Hayek's character's completely pointless. I think they just really wanted a striptease.
But
I think Kevin Smith just wanted her to do a striptease.
That's just what I was going to ask you.
Because like Tarantino did it for no reason. She had a striptease just so he could stick his foot in her mouth. I feel like Kevin Smith's done it as well.
I was going to ask you whether you reckon that's a specific question I've got. Do you think Salma Hayek's only in this so that Smith could get her to strip?
Aye.
That's dodgy, innit?
Totally pointless.
There's no reason to have her as a stripper.
Honest to God,
whatsoever.
It reminded me in my head of Tim Burton writing in his wife Monica Bellucci into the new Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
You're just like, what? There was no need for it. No striptease there, but you're just like, this character doesn't really have
there is literally no... I mean,
she's just
listen,
she's just there.
She's fucking stunning, right?
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong. But then it also became weird that the fact that she dresses as a schoolgirl as well, also makes it more...
It's funny because like people are like, is it a schoolgirl? But it's just because there's pigtails and glasses. She wasn't wearing a school uniform, was she, really?
No, she was just wearing pink underwear.
Yeah.
I suppose, well, is it really? It's but pigtails.
It's just pigtails,
There's very few women...
Yeah.
Like,
you know,
pigtails in a grown woman's fucking...
mental. Yeah,
it's done for a childish reaction.
Yes. Yeah.
But that's very interesting. So it was like just literally like Tarantino. He was like, I really want to see Salma Hayek strip on set. So
you probably saw Dust Till Dawn went run it back again.
What year was Dust Till Dawn released? That would be before that, definitely.
Yeah. I would say so. Yeah,
97, 98 or something.
Yeah.
This is what, maybe even earlier for Dust Till Dawn.
I actually don't know when Dust Till Dawn was.
Find out.
Yeah, what are you going to guess? I'm going to guess because
I'll actually go 96. Because Pulp Fiction was 94.
I'm going to say 93.
Well, you'd be wrong because it's 96, motherfucker.
Yeah, nice. Nice.
So yeah, maybe he did. Jesus, that's disturbing, isn't it?
We have absolutely no proof of this, but I reckon that's it. Considering he didn't really be arsed with the entire character whatsoever in any way, I found it really funny. Them two were really funny putting the money, though. He was very funny playing with it.
Yeah, that was funny. I think the only... you say we don't have any proof. I think the only thing that was hindering our case for a guilty verdict was the years. And I think we've hit the nail on the head there. So...
Sam, we need you to strip again, and we need another wife. Get Michelle Monaghan
in. So yeah, I didn't like Salma. I liked that scene, but I didn't like Salma Hayek in it. Didn't like Chris Rock in it. I didn't think there's any real need.
Yeah, there was one or two extra characters that were just like they felt like they were written purely for one scene or one joke rather than needed.
The worst thing about this film, Alanis Morissette's God, I just was like, why is she a fucking like a wee creepy like smiley? Why is she doing a handstand? Why does she bop her in the nose? Why is she smiling like that? It's almost like that kind of fucking look at me like the cookie I hate cookiness. I utterly hate people that are cookie. I think it's the shitest treat you can be. God, and I was just like fucking. Oh.
Right, so you hated that. I didn't really hate that. I didn't give a shit about it too. At the same time, like I didn't. Yeah, I thought Ben Affleck was good in this.
Aye, Affleck is quite good. Affleck's good when he starts to become a psycho.
Yeah, he actually did act that well, you know.
Aye. Oh, Affleck and Damon are good in this. You can tell in this film that Affleck, Damon, and Rickman are levels above everybody else in it.
Yeah.
Like the scenes with Affleck and Damon are very, very good.
Yeah.
The way because they're given, I personally think a lot of shite dialogue.
Okay, yeah.
And it comes across as someone like, it was interesting when I learned that he wrote this film before Clerks.
Yeah.
So it's obviously someone who's grown up in a Catholic household and has been thinking about this for so fucking long.
Yeah.
That there's some decent points.
Yeah, they had a great point about he's like, you've all got it wrong. Chris Rock was saying, because he was like, it should be ideas, not beliefs.
Yeah.
That was an excellent point.
Yeah.
You know, is like because you can change an idea, but not a belief. And
Yeah.
that is where they are actually falling down in a lot of stuff.
And the idea that it's actually religions that mess up. It's actually it's when faith gets in the hands of religions, that's when it becomes problematic, because the most important thing should be that you have a faith in something, as opposed to when it then becomes indoctrinated and organised. Then religions start going, no, but our faith's better than yours, and our faith is the actually only one true faith, where it shouldn't be. That's when it starts, and then that's when wars happen.
And then kneecaps out there.
Exactly. The one thing. So I don't want people to think I don't like Alanis Morissette as an artist. I remember the first three take a guess the first 3 CDs I bought. Right, it was in 1995 when I got a CD
I can only
player.
Presume Alanis is going to be one.
Jagged Little Pill was one of them.
Yeah.
I bought them all in one trip to our price.
Oh.
The other was a soundtrack to a film.
Reservoir Dogs.
Close. Pulp Fiction.
Okay, right.
Bought the Pulp Fiction soundtrack and CD.
Good one.
And the other was very much my type of music, but not Oasis.
Stone Roses.
No, it was Stanley Road by Paul Weller.
Okay, right. Okay,
so that was the 3 I took home. But I love Jagged Little Pill.
It's unbelievable. Yeah,
album.
she's great. Yeah,
I listened to it the other day.
She's got a big mouth.
She has got a big mouth.
Like Hilary Swank.
Yeah.
Hilary Swank mouth.
Yeah.
I think she was only cast for that so she can open her mouth really loud so that when it explodes the heads. We need someone with a big mouth.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe a small mouth.
Yeah, like
we can't get Holly Hunter in here. Too small a mouth.
Steve Tyler. Nah, we need a woman. Big mouth.
The one thing I hated the most about this film, and I was just like, I do not understand why this bit or why this ever get anywhere past a drunken or stoned idea. This is the big shit monster. The Golgotha.
Yeah.
What is the point in this?
Yeah, that was pointless.
It's just so ludicrous and so stupid.
Yeah.
Not funny.
Couldn't be fucked with that, yeah.
Just like, what? Why a monster made of shit? Like,
that was totally pointless. I did enjoy the fact that she thought that there's probably a good chance that the dude blessed his golf clubs, so that
was funny. Yeah,
that was
nice.
Quite funny.
Yeah, he blessed his driver. Because that's good.
That's
so then it becomes a holy instrument of death.
That's pretty funny.
But yeah, the shit
demon.
The shit monster was. Just,
the shit monster was
pointless.
Comes
out of nowhere as well. Like,
it didn't have anything. It didn't even last long. It was just a complete.
And the CGI's not great in it.
No, completely wasted time.
And then it's destroyed by Silent Bob just spraying some odor killer on it. Yeah. Fresh air stuff. Fucking
pointless.
Bizarre. How long have we done?
Oh, we're done in a way. Like,
cool. The only question I had, well, 2 questions. Do you think? Because I know this was massively protest against when it was released. And before it was even released, like the Catholic Church said it's blasphemous and stuff like that, which is always going to happen the minute you do anything about Catholicism. Do you think Kevin Smith only picked to do this to be controversial, or do you think he actually desperately wanted to do this story?
I think he desperately wanted to do the story.
I agree.
I don't think it's necessarily that controversial, just considering the fact that it's like it is controversial because it's a belief and all that type of shit. But most of it's actually about everything's true.
Yeah,
you just got it a little bit wrong.
You don't think it's a performative method of just
no?
I agree.
I don't think this. I agree.
Here's a question.
Right. And we got that and the Selma Hayek one.
Considering what we tackled last week, right, I feel we are now a podcast that tackle massive questions and issues. Right?
Okay, yeah.
So, right. At the end of this, right, so Linda Fiorentino's character is the last scion, which is the direct descendant of Jesus on Earth, because as they explain it, which I thought was a very, very good point, and it's something I've never thought of before, is the fact that in the Bible, Jesus does go from being like 10 to being 30.
Yeah.
And he does fuck all in those intervening years. There's
Yeah.
no stories about him. There's no, like, Jesus as a teenager shit. And then the way they explain that is because he was coming to terms with the sheer shock of being the Son of God. Right? So when Rickman's explaining all this. And then they're explaining about the fact that Mary and Joseph would obviously have been pumping alongside that as well. So the idea that he wouldn't have siblings is ridiculous, right? So she now is the last side. She's this, like Chris Rock says, she's like the great 38 times niece of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Then after she figures out that God
I know
is actually the homeless dude, and that's how they've been managed to keep God out of all of this, by keeping him in the coma on life support machine. She unplugs the life support machine, God reappears, but because she's made a martyr of herself, is then dying. So Silent Bob brings her in at the end, she's bleeding from the stomach, and then God cures her.
Yeah.
Like by Alan Rickman does the wax on, wax off thing. So holy intervention immediately brings her back to life, but also impregnates her.
Yeah.
So previously we found out that she works at an abortion clinic.
Yeah.
Which I largely thought that was kind of included just to get some kind of abortion stance thing in it. She works in an abortion clinic because she couldn't have kids. Her husband ended up leaving her because she can't have kids, and that's why she hates. That's why she has a problem with God. That's why she's lost her faith, because she's like, what kind of God that I worship would do this to me? So then she's given the kid at the end, but she's given the kid without any consideration or being asked.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
It is. It was pretty fucked up.
So she's not got a husband anymore. She probably wanted
What the fuck am I?
part of it would be she wants to raise a family with this man that she's married
I
to.
can't go work in an abortion clinic.
Exactly. So she's lost her job. I mean, I don't imagine she'll struggle because she's a descendant of Christ, but she's now lost her job. She's a single mother, so all the hardships that come with that. She's also older than when I imagine she would have tried to have her kids.
Yeah.
Because it seems like the husband's been left for a while.
Yeah.
So she's having to deal with being an older mother as well.
Oh, yeah.
And is never consulted in any of this.
She'd shag Jay
whatsoever. Yeah, exactly. She can't shag Jane. You can't be a single mother fucking shagging some stoner guy. So that then becomes another immaculate conception. Right?
Yeah.
So here's my massive question for you.
Right.
The original Immaculate Conception, is it rape?
Yeah, it probably
is. The Immaculate Conception considered to be rape?
I feel like
you're impregnating a woman without her consultation or concession.
I don't think it's rape purely because there was no sexual pleasure from it.
Is that what's required?
Oh, God, yeah, but there's no like literal.
Is there always sexual pleasure?
Basically, what
whenever
I'm saying
someone's
is
being
not
raped,
even
or is
sexual.
it a
I think there has to be something physical for
or,
that. It's a should be completely mental. Like, there's no way as well. Like what do you call him? Joseph there didn't come up and go, "You've been shagging up that hill again."
Yeah. The mount.
Gone up that mount again. You've been shagging. You come down here pregnant. Like, you know.
But see, I think the sexual pleasure thing doesn't come into it.
Yeah.
Because
it could be just
because I would imagine most sexual attacks aren't really about pleasure at all. They're about power.
Yeah.
And what is more powerful than being the most powerful being that exists, exerting their control and landing their seed in a woman who doesn't know about it?
Yeah.
That's the ultimate show of sexual power.
God,
So is God a rapist? That's my that's my question.
I mean, like, I have a bit in my stand-up. If you read some of the book, he has done some dodgy shit. It wouldn't put it past him. Like, you know, he murders kids quite a lot.
Yeah.
In it. Yeah. Let's go with yeah. I mean, it's a pretty mad thing, and in that scene, it is pretty weird. that like as well. When you just went, and now you're pregnant, you'd be like, what the?
So we're going to finish this podcast today by unequivocally stating that we as a podcast, Absolute Cuts, believe God himself is a rapist.
See you next week. That's so funny. I hope someone clips that one out.
So next week we're doing Christmas with the Cranks.
That's so funny. Anyway, and that we say that God is a rapist. Anyway, next week, the Nutty Professor. Dr. Dolittle. Oh God, yeah.
But do you know what? I probably don't hate it as much as I did when I finished it, having talked through it.
Yeah, I did. I enjoyed it.
Affleck and Damon were brilliant.
They were definitely. You're definitely right with that. They're clearly better than everyone else.
Aye.
There, and Rickman, obviously.
Yeah. Right.
Next week.
Thanks very much. As always, any questions, any fact checking? I can't even imagine some of the shit we've got wrong in this particular episode. So let us know about them. Give us some reviews if you want. Share it about. Tombstone next week.
I can't wait to watch it again. I've been dying already. I fucking loved it.
It's really, really good.
Yeah.
I mean, if anyone is desperately wanting to watch Dogma after you've seen this episode, send me a message and I will send you the link.
Yeah.
You'll be able to find it yourself. Just type in. I think I typed in Dogma illegal torrent. And eventually you find something, so it will be in there.
Illegal.
But if you can't be asked for that and you don't want to type in illegal in your own search history, then send me a message and I'll send you on the link. But apart from that,
shove it up here.
Yep. See ya. Bye.